Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War video. Today we've gotten a bunch of information on Season 6. First of all, the DLC 4 map releasing in Season 6 is going to be called Forsaken. As you guys know, the main premise of this map is the Forsaken is going to finally be escaping from the Dark Ether. And I actually really like this name. I think it would be really cool if we actually played inside the Forsaken itself, similar to the Giant Apothecon, the Elder God on Revelations. Then the name would be a bit more fitting. But yeah, this name is really unique and very different to any of the other previous Zombies maps names. And if we look at the logo, once again, it's a very unique logo. We can see the portal from the Dark Ether, and the texture of the text kind of looks like a reptilian, and it really looks like the Forsaken might resemble a dragon. We do have this red devil-looking creature in the graffiti on D Machina that I've speculated in the past could even be the Forsaken, and I wonder if the Forsaken used to be red, but it might be purple now. And it is rumored that the Dark Ether in Vanguard Zombies is going to be red and more like hell, as opposed to purple in Cold War Zombies. This is just a rumor, this isn't confirmed, but the Dark Ether has changed a lot since the 1940s, now to the 80s, since time works differently in there, so that is hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands. So it could make sense that maybe the Forsaken in the past was red and he eventually became purple. I think it's really likely that the Forsaken is most likely going to be made of Dark Ether crystals. It makes sense, after all, the dragons that we fill up with Ethereum in Outbreak, the Ethereum was being sent to the Forsaken. I guess he was consuming their power. We know that the Forsaken does absorb whomever he captures and encompasses them, and I'm guessing he actually takes on the abilities and traits of those that he does manage to defeat. But considering the fact that it looks like the Forsaken is most likely purple, the color of the Dark Ether, that he is in fact made up of Dark Ether crystals, and it makes sense as to why he's not been able to escape from the Dark Ether yet, because the zombies, the megatons, the manglers, etc., despite them being Dark Ether entities, they are able to survive outside of the Dark Ether. But in Outbreak, the world has been getting terraformed as the Dark Ether is bleeding into our regular world, and that's why there's these large Dark Ether crystals, and the people in the Dark Ether, instead of breathing oxygen, they breathe in Ethereum. So most likely, if the Forsaken is made up of Dark Ether crystals, he can only survive in a world that's been fully terraformed and he's able to breathe in Ethereum. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this logo? Next up, we have the Wonder Weapon revealed for DLC 4. So Treyarch were teasing it the other day, and I talked about how it's most likely concepted from Kraft, who is the demonologist that we're going to learn about more in Vanguard Zombies. So it's good to see that DLC 4 is actually tying directly into Vanguard Zombies, which is going to be revealed sometime around Halloween, most likely with this upcoming All Hallows Eve event in Warzone and Black Ops Cold War. Well, Treyarch tweeted, "Forged in the pools of Etheria, two forms of the Crystal Axe shall take." So yes, this wonder weapon is going to be called the Crystal Axe, and there's two different variants of it. So one variant that you can see on the right is a axe, and it really resembles Thor's Stormbreaker weapon. And then the weapon that we see on the left kind of resembles the Needler from Halo. So I'm guessing you'll be able to interchange between the two different variants, but I'm guessing that the axe variant is going to work somewhat like the Hell's Retriever, where you'll just be able to throw it and then retrieve it, but it is made up of Dark Ether crystals. Anyways, we have a note on it saying, "Carver, one of our teams recovered this from the Dark Ether. Seems to be a schematic for an ancient weapon. Looks like you'll get your wish for an authentic Dark Ether weapon after all, coming from Strauss." So we know that Strauss has been researching into Kraft and Kraft's work, and it is hard to make out the writing in the background, but let me know in the comments, what do you think it says? I'm really interested to see this wonder weapon in action though, and be able to use it, since it is just so different from all of the other wonder weapons we have seen before, and it is going to be an actual Dark Ether weapon this time. We do see that there appears to be lightning or electricity kind of holding the different parts of the weapon together. For example, the axe blade is separated from the weapon, but you can see the different bolts conjoining it, and then the version of the weapon on the left has an electronic ring. But yeah, I'm getting really strong dragon vibes from this weapon. It does look very reptilian. So Treyarch have released a blog post with more DLC 4 details for the Forsaken map that I'll go over in a second, but first of all, I want to let you guys be aware that this video has been kindly sponsored by Chernobyl, developed by T-Farm 51, published by All In Games. Chernobyl is a a science fiction survival horror RPG set in the hyper-realistic 3D scanned wasteland of Chernobyl's exclusion zone. Explore a non-linear storyline in your search to uncover the truth of your tortured past. It's been available on Steam for PC users for a couple months now, but it actually just released on consoles too on the 28th of September, which is today at the time I'm recording this video. It's available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but also PS5 and Xbox Series X/S with backwards compatibility. There is a link in this video's description if you want to check it out. You'll take on the role of Igor, a physicist and ex-employee of the Chernobyl power plant, returning to Pripyat to investigate the mysterious disappearance of his fiancée 30 years prior. Get ready for a thrilling adventure of survival, conspiracy, horror, love, and obsession. Construct a base from which to plan your daily operations and excursions. Utilize workstations to craft gadgets, create traps and weapons, or modify existing equipment to your needs. Companions are key to your survival and the resolution of your journey. Each day requires the careful planning and assignment of resources and tasks to your comrades. Survival in the zone is not easy, and each day brings fresh challenges as comrades die and supplies diminish. Avoid detection with stealth takedowns or engage in open armed. Danger lurks in every corner. No playthrough is the same. Like your choices, the story is in your hands. Choose wisely whether to trust your comrades or not, use resources for survival for research, and confront conflicts or evade them. The future is up to you. So once again, if this game sounds good to you, you can check it out right now using the link in this video's description. So bringing it back to the topic of The Forsaken for Season 6. So it is arriving on October the 7th. We already know this, but we have an official confirmation now. Treyarch said the ultimate showdown between Requiem and Omega is about to begin. As you guys know, they are racing against trying to rescue Zykov from the Dark Ether. That is most likely a trap that I'll go on to in a second. They said, today we are proud to reveal the logo and release date for the final Cold War Zombies map. So this is the final map, in case it isn't obvious already. They keep stressing that, but just in case you needed any further confirmation. So yeah, the map is fully free, since all DLC maps in Cold War are free, providing the shocking conclusion to the Dark Ether story's opening chapter. So they have confirmed that the Dark Ether storyline is going nowhere. Cold War Zombies simply acts as the introduction to the Dark Ether storyline. So for those who aren't really interested in the storyline thus far, you have to understand that this is just the introduction, and Vanguard Zombies is going to be a prequel to Cold War Zombies, exploring how the Dark Ether was in the past, and in future games they'll most likely explore what happens after Cold War Zombies. But this is all just kind of setting the story and doing world building. The storyline's going to get way crazier in the future. This is merely the start. With DLC 4, The Forsaken, the director is most likely going to be revealed as Eddie, and we're not really going to get too much storyline regarding him most likely in this game, but in future games, that is where the director's plans probably really going to come to fruition, and I'm really excited to see where this storyline heads in the future. So Treyarch said, as fans have learnt in the latest intel throughout Season 5, Requiem's director has plans for Samantha Maxis, employing unorthodox methods to help her understand the powers she has developed during her time in the Dark Ether. So he has been doing some very dark things whilst he's been interrogating her and basically torturing her in order for her to harness and become better equipped with her Dark Ether powers that she has acquired after being trapped in the Dark Ether a while ago from Dr. Peck. So although he was using unorthodox methods, I feel like it is for the greater good. Most likely Samantha is going to be the one to stop the Forsaken in DLC 4. She's probably the only one powerful enough. It would be cool to see her wield the Crystal Axe and defeat the Forsaken right at the last second in a similar way to Thor. Requiem and Omega have embarked upon rival operations to extract Sergeant Kazimir Zykov from the Dark Ether, believing this lost Russian, and notice that the Soviet soldier who closed the portal at Project N Station will be the key to preventing a destructive force from entering our world. So like I've talked about in prior videos, we didn't really know who the lost soul trapped in the Dark Ether talking to us was until further in the seasons, and we learned that he is in fact Zykov, but Zykov most likely died ages ago and he's just a mimic of the Forsaken. And notice how within the intel they've put lost Russian in quotation marks, hinting that this is a trap and Zykov isn't genuine, he's just manipulating Omega and Requiem into freeing the Forsaken. And now Omega's defector Sergeant Ravenov has provided Requiem with intelligence detailing a massive new ethereal portal being constructed in western Ukraine. Kravchenko plans to open a special gateway they are trying to find him. So they've opened up this gateway inside Anna in Ukraine, campaign, which is based off of the red light, green light campaign mission, and Dr. Peck has built this chamber which is meant to subdue the Forsaken's unnatural abilities. But the thing is, we know that there's a coat of something on the inside of this chamber that is supposed to subdue his abilities, and I think it is probably primordial Ethereum. So Omega are thinking that this machine is going to subdue the Forsaken because they've been instructed by Zykov to do so. But I think that the Ethereum, the primordial Ethereum, is actually going to make the Forsaken stronger, and Zykov, like I said, is most likely just the Forsaken pretending to be Zykov. So I think the Forsaken is going to escape, and Omega and or Requiem are going to think that it's going to be subdued by this machine. Well, it turns out he's actually going to get stronger, and he'll probably break free, destroy a load of stuff, start terraforming the area, and then we'll most likely defeat him as the final boss, and Samantha will probably come in to kill him. And we have this other machine that kind of looks like the Sophia robot that is most likely going to be how Zykov communicates to us on the map. The Easter egg's probably going to be revolving us trying to capture the Forsaken, but when this machine is talking to us, it's most likely just the Forsaken pretending to be Zykov via this machine, and that's how he's going to communicate to us. And when we get nearer to the end of the Easter egg, it's all just going to go wrong, as when we think we're just trying to capture the Forsaken to try and harness its powers or whatever, we're basically making it stronger. That's what I think is going to happen here. Anyways, that's all of the Forsaken stuff I wanted to talk about, but we did get the Season 6 cutscene. Anyways, I'll play the cutscene for you right now, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Focus. Try to remember. You can stop all this now. It's no use. We're running out of time. You've been off grid since Algeria. What was you doing in Verdansk?
You always find me the best toys.
You can defuse it.
Stadium search team. We found more devices.
Kill it. Signal curset is off. Of course. Seismic charge. Primary rig to blow secondaries in the borehole. Sophisticated. Very nasty. This has CIA written all over it.
I know who did this. Tough son of a bitch won't talk. Let's start the real work.
I did what you cowards wouldn't. This is Operation in Verdansk. Has to be destroyed. Get me out of this chair.
First, we're gonna fix you. Trust me. It's gonna hurt. 16, 23, 18, 14, 15, 18, 11.
Adler, we have unfinished business.
Got reports of multiple explosions in Verdansk. Sounds like a boy did a number on the place. Get him up. We need to go.
Oh God, what have I done? Shake it off. It wasn't you. We're gonna finish what you started.
We've got a job to do.
Okay, so as you just saw, Mason has actually freed Adler. So we know in the Season 5 outro cutscene that Hudson and co. called in Alex Mason, who was currently raising his son in Alaska, but he's come back to the field to rescue Adler. Now, when we got the key art for Season 6, I thought that he might be trying to rescue Belle, and maybe Belle from the campaign is somehow still alive, because we see him reaching out this hand, and on one of the computer screens in the back, there's a statue of Adler from the Vietnam Break On Through campaign mission, and this mission is all just a hallucination in Belle's head, and in this mission there are statues of Adler, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a new multiplayer map in Season 6, and it might be a hallucinated, sort of weird distorted map where there's heads of Adler and stuff like that. The thing is though, Mason does read the numbers in order to free Adler, which I found pretty interesting because he's clearly handling his brainwashing a lot better now. So yeah, Mason reads reads the numbers that he had previously heard to him, and Mason and Hudson are instead going to be brainwashing Adler instead in order to counteract Perseus's and Stitch's brainwashing to Adler. So it's basically the Americans brainwashing Adler instead of the Russians brainwashing Adler, and the Cold War storyline has basically been showing the Soviets as well as America as being one and the same, as them both being bad entities, which I think makes for a more interesting story and a much more accurate one than the previous Call of Duty stories where they always just show Russia bad and a lot of it is just American propaganda, whereas Black Ops Cold War actually shows both America and Russia as being bad. And the same with the zombie storyline. Both Requiem and Omega are one of the same. They're just two sides of the same coin. They're just really reflections of each other, and the true evil is what lies within the Dark Ether and the Forsaken, etc. But yeah, what has Adler been up to whilst he has been brainwashed? Well, luckily Mason has turned off his brainwashing, at least temporarily, but it seems like he was planting bombs underneath Verdansk. We know that we have the mines that are going to be opening up in Season 6, but in the cutscene, Verdansk gets destroyed, or not fully destroyed, but a lot of it gets destroyed from underground, such as the stadium, and that explains why the stadium changes, and it's different within the current day, the modern day Verdansk that we saw in Modern Warfare. And we know from the ending of Modern Warfare's campaign that Verdansk was destroyed during the Cold War and was rebuilt after the Cold War. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of map changes to Verdansk because a lot has been destroyed, and the stadium is probably going to change or just be temporarily destroyed during Season 6. Quite a lot of buildings got destroyed. In fact, I believe the entirety of downtown has pretty much crumbled, so it's going to make a lot less room for snipers. But the thing is, this is only going to last for one season, and then Verdansk is going to go, so even if they're making major changes right now, it's kind of too little too late, considering the map is only going to be around for a couple months. But as you guys know, after Season 6, Verdansk is going to go. We're getting a new World War II Pacific Theater Island map for Call of Duty Vanguard that's coming in Season 1 on November the 23rd. So Verdansk is most likely going to get fully destroyed afterwards, since we know that only the Gulag and the bunkers were the things that would remain after Verdansk got destroyed. So most likely what's going to happen is probably in Season 6 it's going to get fully destroyed. I'm not exactly sure anyways, but we know that Stitch is approaching, so the climax to Season 6 is probably going to be Adler fighting against Stitch, and either Adler or Stitch are probably going to die. I don't think both will survive. At least one of them is probably going to survive, and we'll probably see them again in the next Treyarch game, whoever ends up surviving. I really want Adler to survive though, but at the same time I want Stitch to survive, so we're just going to have to wait and see who wins their battle, but that'll probably be within the Season 6 outro. But yeah, the next Treyarch game is rumored to be set around Black Ops 2 era, so there's going to be a big time jump. So if Adler is back in that game, it could be through flashback missions, unless he's really old like Frank Woods. And with Stitch, there is a new operator, which is a new member of Perseus. They're probably going to be an operator bundle in the store that's separate from the battle pass, since Mason is going to be the main battle pass operator. So in the cutscene it shows 3 different weapons, and one is a new SMG that's apparently the LARPA SM03. Apparently we are also going to be seeing the Galil, although we already have the Farah, but it's modeled very similarly to the Galil, but it's not exactly the Galil. And we're apparently going to be getting a new lever action shotgun, which might be the model 1887 shotgun. I'm not exactly sure on that one, but yeah, I'm happy that we're going to be seeing the true Galil, because the Farah is very similar, but it just doesn't really hit that spot. Anyways, just a quick reminder that this video has been kindly sponsored by Chernobyl. If you want to check it out, there will be a link in this video's description. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.